Bethany, hey, I'll have my bagel a little extra cooked and the yolky runny. Hey, sorry to hear that you're moving on, but I'm moving on to Oscoda. Boy, it just gets to me sometimes. Anyway, I love that town in some ways and just want to run from it in others. But anyway, I wanted to show you this because, well, I was originally going to contact you about an opportunity to maybe go in on a business, but sounds like you're ready to get out of business. But either way, if you're confidentially maybe selling your business, I confidentially may be selling this property, and I wanted to show this to you because it may affect the sales of your property. I don't know. It may not. So it's 450 feet. This is the house that I grew up in right here in the middle. It's the White House behind Gilbert's, and there's 450 feet of river frontage. It goes all the way up to Piety Hill Park, and there's my boat at a dock I built. And put together this development and existing conditions study in preparation for putting it on the market, which it hasn't gone on officially yet. There's the property outline, and I'm acting as if I were a developer, but I'm really doing just pre-development so that I could sell the property at a better price. And here's the view out of my former studio that I built on the water, the sunset views, and the grounds are pretty extensive. And I went through on this, and it's not really pertinent to you, but I made a imagery, photos and plans of all the units. There's 9 units on the property, three buildings, 9 units, and they're all laid out here for a potential buyer. But and I did a business analysis of profit and loss to get an estimated value based on the income, net operating income formula for doing such things in the real estate business. And then mostly what I wanted to do is apartments. So this is a study that the township did 2 years ago saying that there was a deficit of 200 to 260 apartments, and our apartments are always full. Um, my mom and dad have owned the property for, I don't know, 50 plus years. And my brother's presently managing them. But I'm doing this uh, proposal. The township has implemented a higher density zoning. The brown there is our site right here for up to 4 stories of buildings with retail on the first floor, commercial on the first floor, and a apartments. And since there's such a deficit in apartments, I think that would be a good move for somebody. Here's the site, and you can see the uniqueness of the site is it's not looking across the river like so many properties are. It's actually looking up and down the river, which affords these long water views, as you can see here. Just bear with me. I just want to show you what I'm doing. I guess I could cut to the chase. In the pursuit of this development, I started working with Todd Dickerson, a township development guy, and he made me aware that I was asking him what he thought this would go through zoning. So there's no variances required. And then he brought up the idea that, well, the township wants to have retail on the first floor, and there's a program through the state where they'll fund a grant up to $1 to $2 million if the project has first floor retail. So I changed the project a little bit by taking the only space on the first floor because it's parking underneath here, and also on this side of the old house is this part right here, which is the old house. So I switched up the development a little bit. I eliminated two of the existing apartments on the first floor, to get a cafe, coffee shop type of thing in there, which doesn't have to be, but I can't imagine, you know, what would be successful other than that, or maybe because I'm not in that game. I'm in the architectural world, but so anyway, I went through and did this whole thing, and then I did a construction cost estimate and a profit and loss estimate to get a value of what the final project would be. It's basically adding 21 units because 30 would be allowed on site by zoning. And then I talked to Todd, and he said, well, there's this program with the city that wants to improve the pedestrian access corridor of the of any downtown rural municipality, and then there's been this talk for years about a boardwalk that comes along here. This is our property. This is Gilbert's property, down to Finish Line Park and connecting up. So I made this proposal as something that a developer and in conjunction with the city might do, because this grant is only accessible if it's sponsored by a municipality, but the money goes to the individual private owner. So I indicated how we might extend the street works that are on East Dwight, the pavers and the lamps and the new tree planting, all the way up to the end of Dwight Street, and that would tie in with the circulation at this development on our property. So this shows an outdoor covered with a roof, an outdoor fireplace, really close to the street. That's about 10 feet or something from the street, and the pavers would kind of turn into a little courtyard, and not unlike your place, and come up here. And then you'd come into the old house, and there'd be a seating area. Then I had a little sandwich kitchen here. There's seating here and seating here. And then also, because I ran an Airbnb out of this space for a summer and saw how lucrative it was, I took two of the existing bedrooms and made them into suites with sitting, outdoor amenities, and that sort of thing. Then you go down a level, which happens at this line, and where my studio used to be, which is right here, with those great views up and down the river, I'm proposing a potential restaurant. Now, this is kind of a la carte development. I think that this portion of it might snag the grant, but I don't know that for sure. So I put this in as a secondary opportunity. So anyway, there's the outdoor seating. This is one of the bedrooms turned into a suite. This is the kitchen that I redesigned in the existing house, turned into a little cafe operation. Has the circulation patterns, blah, blah, blah. There's the front room. It's an old fireplace. The house was built in 1910. The original wood floors. Throscoda, it's kind of cool. This is the remodeled kitchen. That might be turned into a cafe. Yikes. Competition. But I was really thinking about you, and wondering whether you'd be interested in running both of these places, and whether that would fit into your business plan or not. Whether you thought it was viable. The state is looking for a viable business plan, and I'm capable of producing a business plan, but I was wondering whether you'd be interested in joining forces on this. If it did come through, what's in it for you would be that there'd be $1 million to $2 million for building out and potentially operation of the subsidized operation. I've done a spreadsheet on cost, and I think it's going to be about, to do the remodeling in the main part of the house would be probably about 250 to 350,000. So that would eat up some of the grant money. Down in the lower level, As you move down through the restaurant, where am I? You have what I'm calling an interpretive center for Oscoda's history. This site was originally a Native American camping site, from best I can tell, and then it became a mill site, and it was one of the biggest mills in the area. And in the interpretive center, I'm going to do a Native American history thing. There was the proposal. Then I was proposing a scale model of the old town before it burned down, just for historical uh, reference. I think people would like to see all that. Something I'm actually capable of doing. I've got drawings for all the properties down here. But anyway, this is a shot of the inside of my studio that I just kind of put some people in and made it look like it might be a restaurant sitting area. This is my old studio before I burned it down by accident, with a little projected deck added onto it. But the views are really like this, and it's very dramatic, especially at sunset, which you don't get a lot of, sunset in this town. And I started to do build out costs for the covered front porch and all that stuff. This is just a partial spreadsheet. So then there's a boardwalk opportunity. Been looking for grant funding for that, but I haven't found any. But there have in previous years been grants that have been offered for waterfront development in rural communities. So I did this design of a cantilevered boardwalk, which would allow for natural habitat, fishery, and whatnot. That's where all the fish live, is in the structure of the old retaining walls from the lumbering days. I know that because that spot right there where it's on our property is one of the best fishing spots along the river, all the fishermen tell me. And so I wanted to preserve the fish habitat instead of walling in the lake river, although there is a retaining situation there. Blah, blah, blah. Boy, I got into my brain about all this stuff. So sorry for that long explanation. But anyway, back to the cafe thing. So if this were to happen, and I haven't released it, but at some point I'm going to release it out into the community, and people will start to know about it, and I want you to know about it before that happens, because it might affect your. I don't know how real this all is, because really a lot of it depends on Todd Dickerson running this through the state and getting the grant approval, because the grant approval really makes the numbers work on a sale. With interest rates being what they are right now, I don't know how fast any of this is going to happen. I do know that the housing market is in dire need of more units, and with the major part of this project being apartment units, I think it's very viable. And my brother and I are planning on taking this out to various developers, both regionally and out of our region, in the next month or something. But so anyway, now you're aware of it. I had no idea you were going to sell your property. I was hoping that the reason I contacted you was to see if I could, and then I was going to ask you whether you'd be interested in an expansion opportunity over here with a subsidized grant. But anyway, now you know what's up. Give me a call, 612-719-8055, if you want to talk about it, or respond any way you like. I hope this doesn't rain on your parade, or anyway, I'd have no idea. Give me a call, or let's talk, or just go to the beach and relax. Forget about it. I'm going to do that. All right. Take care. Bye.